Regie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to my second live stream of the day, and this is a big one. This is some breaking news, and I'm just thankful, honestly, to be able to go on camera because my internet has been out all day, and I literally just got it set back up where I can actually connect. The big news of the day is that CGC has actually been sold. A majority stake of the company has actually been sold to an investment firm along with some others. And we are going to dig into the details of this announcement that came out a few hours ago and I think was just posted to CGC's Instagram page a few short minutes ago. Shout out to my buddy Neo. Neo actually gave me a heads up a little while ago about this because I was not aware. So I want to acknowledge him and his contribution to alerting me to the details of what is actually happening. Shout out to everybody that's jumping in the chat right now. The news is that CGC has been sold. A majority stake of CGC has actually been sold. And this is the article, the press release that came out at 10 a.m. today, Eastern Standard Time on Business Wire. Blackstone opportunities to acquire CGC, a leading provider of tech-enabled authentication, grading, et cetera, for the collectibles industry. So it is going down. So Blackstone today, that the fund that manages, let me read this. I'm trying to scan through to the most important parts here. They are acquiring a majority stake. Blackstone is acquiring a majority stake in CGC and a transaction valuing the company at more than $500 million. $500 million. And I had an opportunity to meet Mark when I was down at CGC. So this is quite significant. And it goes on to say that both Mark and Steven, the CEO, will retain a significant minority stake in the company. Additional investors in this transaction include Rock Nation, Jay-Z, Hove, Mark Rubin, founder and executive chairman of Fanatics. Who is this? Who else is in here? Anyone of note? I'm kind of scanning through some of this stuff. Daryl, the president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. Investment firm to prominent athletes, recording artists, and other leaders across the entertainment business. Okay, so a lot of folks that are involved in this. I think most notably, probably in my mind, is of course what's going on with Rock Nation and Mark Rubin. So some interesting stuff that is happening right now. This article, this press release goes on to provide some additional context for what and who CGC actually is, what the relationship actually looks like. It says that CGC's leadership team will remain in place, combining their experience and expertise with Blackstone's extensive resources. Over the last 35 years, CGC has expanded from collectible coins to comic books, banknotes, magazine, concert posters, et cetera, et cetera. There was a section in here that I want to talk to. Where is it? So here's a section from Mark, a quote. He says, when I established CGC back in 2000, I had a vision that we would transform collectibles into an asset class that is trusted by collectors, dealers, and investors around the world. It has been incredible to be part of this journey as we achieved and then exceeded these goals. I'm excited to join with Blackstone as we enter the next phase of growth for CGC and the collectibles market. So, I mean, this is a pretty big thing, right? This is a pretty big thing because now, to some degree or another, a lot of things that have transpired with CGC over the last few months kind of sort of make some sense, right? They moved into this larger facility. They increase some of the fees, which makes them a little bit more attractive because you're generating new revenue. Going back to something we talked about just earlier today with PayPal. This is a very, very interesting move. And it is also a true sign that the collectibles market is incredibly hot. That valuation of $500 million is bananas. That is bananas. But it goes to show just how hot collectibles as a whole are. So I don't want to get into the ramifications of what this might mean because I know that people are going to take it there, you know, like what's up with my order? I don't want to take it there. This is really crazy news. And shout out to those guys. Holy smoke, Regie doesn't let moss grow under his feet. I've been on fire, brother. And again, Shout out to my brother Neo for giving me a heads up on this because I had no clue that this was going down. Neo sent me a message and he was like, you probably have received a billion messages already about this. And the truth is I had not. I had not received any messages. So shout out to him. Remo, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Perhaps a way to raise money for expansion as well as cash. So again, I think that there's a combination of things that are happening here. And Joe is a really smart guy. So I think he's definitely hitting on to something. I think it is a fantastic opportunity for the folks that own CGC to extract some value, right? And I applaud them for making money. They are extracting some value, yet still staying involved. I think that these additional resources that will be brought to bear by Blackstone and the others that are involved will potentially allow CGC to continue expanding their operations, to bring to bear, additional technology and all of that other stuff that is actually needed to allow CGC to continue being competitive. And I think that that's a good thing, right? And again, I'm choosing to look at the bright side of these things versus some of the other. And so Blackstone will seek to accelerate CGC's growth, enabling the company to invest significantly in its current and planned services, adding and training employees, expanding its geographic and product reach, acquiring new technologies, and developing its digital presence. Blackstone is one of the world's leading investment firms with nearly 650 billion in assets under management and a strong track record of creating value and a positive impact for the companies it acquires and communities they serve. So again, to Joe's point here, they are potentially about to put this money to good use. Maybe you'll see something better in Canada and in the UK. I know people are always asking about those things. So maybe this is, again, looking at the positive, an opportunity for CGC to expand its scope, to offer more features, more services, et cetera, et cetera. Again, just trying to focus on some of the more positive things here. So, I read. So Quest Dog says all CGC orders will be packed with expired rock pads. You gotta love Rock Nation. Scrolling through, making sure. Let me see if there's any other comments in here. So again, a couple of people are coming in a little bit late to some things. So I definitely want to circle back up to the top and readdress this stuff. But yeah, there are a couple of good comments here, right? So KJ Solo, growth is good, but standards still need to be met, if not exceeded. Service and quality are key. I think we would all probably agree to that. That is basically what we're looking for. Whoa, I had no idea what's good. Fancy, how you doing? It is good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. If there's anybody in here for the first time, shout out to you guys. Curious whether more collectors will shift to CBCS now the CGC has gone even more corporate. Well, what you have to realize is that isn't technically CBCS already corporate? Aren't they owned by Beckett, and isn't Beckett owned by somebody else, right? So, which is more corporate at this point, right? To some degree or another, I have been to CGC and I have met the people that actually run CGC, right? I've literally met them. Are we even able to do that with CBCS if we went down to Dallas? I don't know. I'm not being critical of CBCS. I'm simply evaluating the comment that is being thrown up in here and kind of throwing something out for people to consider. And I will tell you, I actually have an order that has been at CBCS since April that has not moved, right? Because there's a lot of people that are like, go to CBCS, you'll get better service. I, again, will reiterate that I believe that all services, and it doesn't matter what the service is, pick one, plumbing, electrical, pick a service, CGC, right? CBCS, all services are being slammed across the board and everything is a wait, right? My electrician finally came today. He was like, yeah, I can't do the thing you need me to do. I can do this other project, but I have to schedule it. I have to come back. And I'm like, well, you haven't done anything today, right? So every service is being hit. Juggernaut, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Scrolling through some of the comments here again. Seeing if I am all caught up. Yeah, I will try to post this up in the comment section for you guys so that you guys can actually read this in its entirety, because I do respect the desire to take it to the source. So I definitely respect that. So let me just recap for those folks that are coming in a little bit late. We received some information earlier today as of a press release at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning that CGC has actually sold a majority stake in the company to the Blackstone Technical Opportunities Group. I guess that's what that is. Tactical opportunities. So not to rehash this in great detail, but in a transaction valuing the company, that company being CGC, at more than $500 million. So basically, again, CGC has been acquired a majority stake by Blackstone, and you can see their stock symbol right there is BX on the screen. The founder and also the current CEO will retain a significant minority stake in the company, but basically they will be leveraging Blackstone's expertise and also assets to basically grow CGC. And so enabling the company to invest significantly in its current and planned services, adding and training new employees, expanding its geographic and product reach, acquiring new technologies, and developing its digital presence. That is what's going down. Wonderful quote down here from Mark, who I had an opportunity to meet when I was down at CGC several months ago. He said, I had a vision that we would transform collectibles into an asset class that is trusted by collectors, dealers, and investors around the world. And indeed, he has done that. It has been incredible to be part of this journey as we achieved and then exceeded these goals. I am excited to join with Blackstone as we enter the next phase of growth for CGC and the collectibles market. So again, this is a moment in time, man. This is a recognition that indeed collectibles are just on fire right now. And I think these guys are doing the right thing by extracting some of that value for themselves and for their families, but then also, again, staying involved to continue the growth of the company into the future. And again, I am choosing in this live stream right now to focus on the positives of this versus the what's going on with my books that are sitting at CGC, because I think there's going to be a natural tendency for people to take it there. And I think that there's a lot of time for us to get into some of those details. Let's focus on the here and now, the present, what's going down right now. So Jean Claude says CBCS is starting to look like a better investment. CGC, when corporate rates are going to go through the roof. You know, again, we raised this point earlier. And do you know who owns CBCS? CBCS, I do believe, is owned by Beckett. Do you know who owns Beckett? I honestly don't know. So again, the tendency to say something like this without putting it in context and actually digging into the details, I do believe that if you were to compare the two, you might actually say that CBCS is much more corporate than is CGC. But I encourage you all to do your own research, dig into the details, because I think that the details will matter. I think that the details will matter. So just got an email announcement, says Bradley, thank you, brother, for that. David says 650. That is a lot of money. He's talking about Blackstone's assets that are under their management is $650 billion, which is a stupid amount of money. I would take a couple of bucks for that. Just got an email about the sale in the last 2 minutes. I beat CGC. Oh man, let me scroll down on some of these comments. I think you're right, Joe. I think this is going to be a good thing. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed for all of this stuff. And again, I want to give a huge shout out to this guy. I've acknowledged him 3 times in this live stream. Neo gave me a heads up on this. I did not know any of this. He gave me a heads up. And I do believe that he has recorded and released his own video on this very same topic. So I definitely want to encourage people to check him out. This dude is smart. He is very thoughtful in the words that he chooses to use. And I absolutely dig him. So Neo, shout out to you, brother. I absolutely appreciate you. So, Steven says Blackstone is like a mega corporation that builds countries. Why would they want to? Because of the money. Collectibles are big, brother. Collectibles are big business. Again, CGC started 21 years ago, right? They put the value of this company at $500 million. That is redunculous. That is a redunculous amount of money. And I applaud the folks at CGC for having the initiative to start this that many years ago, because it probably was not easy. Probably was not easy. Shout out. Competition is growth is good. That's what's up. And to that point, I'm actually going to be appearing on EGS's channel here relatively soon. We're going to connect. And again, our topic of discussion with Tony Trebetta at EGS is actually going to be the fact that competition is good. And the question is, how attractive, in my mind, does this make companies like EGS and also even PGX for that matter, that are in this same space doing the same stuff? Yes, they have different experience levels, right? They've been in the game a different amount of time, but this potentially bodes well for alls, for all that, not alls. Not alls, all. Scrolling through some of the comments here. There you go. There you go. CBCS is owned by Beckett, which is owned by a global group. There you go. There you go. And again, I think context is definitely important to kind of put into this stuff because the facts actually matter. The facts actually matter with some of this stuff. So Vox is pointing out here, I think this is a good thing. Again, I've met these guys down at CGC. They are honestly, from my experience, they are good people. They came out. We had a good conversation. We had conversations behind closed doors. I think that they're good people, and it's a good sign that they're going to be involved. Fingers crossed that they are together and involved long term, not just for the 1 year full merger acquisition time period. Because again, I think it's important to have leaders actually involved in this stuff moving forward. Okay, so I am going to wrap this stuff up. I needed to jump on her real quick to do this. Hopefully everyone has received the proper information, no matter how long you've actually been in the chat. But I do want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit to allow me to break this news about CGC actually selling, being valued at $500 million and being sold to Blackstone. I will post the link to this article in the description of this video in the event that you want to read it in its entirety. As always, if you guys need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.